long wait is over, the summer is gone, the best leagues in the land are back.
It's time to raise the game.
Hello and welcome back to Met Sport TV. I'm Neve Davis and today I'm joined with my co-presenter and also commentator for the evening, Will Shepherd. Will, how are we?
Hi Neve, pleasure to be alongside you. Really looking forward to this one today.
So am I. Well, we're very lucky to be starting today's stream actually in the changing rooms, a bit of a different scene to what we're usually used to. Tell me about it, Will.
Yeah, it's a real honour to be able to be here in the inner sanctum just a short while before the Archers come in here to get themselves ready for the final game of the BUCS regular season, and also for 9 players in their starting 15, their last game of their home careers here at Cyncoed.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an emotional evening. I can already feel the emotion looking at all the jerseys here in the changing room. How do you think it's going to affect their play today?
I was talking to Tom Cowell earlier, the backs coach for Met, and he was saying how they want to give these boys a real send-off. I mean, it includes players like club captain Ben Murphy, long-time fly half for the club Steph Crimp, Henry Kerwin, who's had an outstanding season on the wing. So lots of big names that we might not get to see in this famous jersey down on Rugby 1 again. So yeah, huge evening for them, and I'm sure that means the emotions are going to be running high.
Yeah, and just to add to that emotions, obviously last week wasn't the result the boys would have been hoping for. Do you think that's been a confidence knock? Tell us about that match. Yeah,
I mean, you spoke to Guards immediately after the match, right? It was a really tough watch for him, for those of us that have been following this Met side through the season and through the years, a lot below the level that they would have expected. Guards has made a lot of changes to the side today. They will expect more. They were close when they played Durham up in Durham earlier this season, so there's every reason to believe that with the changes he's made, the names back in the side and the occasion of this match, that they can turn things around and win the game tonight.
Yeah, hoping they can do so. But for those who missed it, we've actually got some highlights from last week's match against Exeter. Let's take a look.
Over the last few days, it's just been wonderful weather out here in the Welsh capital. Welcome to round 17 of the 2024-25 BUCS Super Rugby season as Cardiff Met hosts Exeter in a battle between 5th and 6th place.
You can't count a team like Exeter. They're reigning champions for a reason, and that pedigree doesn't just disappear, so they will definitely still have that fight in them tonight.
Away we go on Rugby 1. Cardiff Met take the ball in. That's a huge hit, Sam.
Massive hit.
15 for Exeter out wide. That's a very, very good handoff. And are they over the line? Exeter are. The first score of the night goes to the men in green. Out they go, Exeter to the far side. Quick hands and beautifully, beautifully played. The quick hands from Exeter are paying off. Now it goes to BUCS, who once again opts for that kicking game. That's a much better one though, and it's taken in by a Met player. And are they going to score it in the corner? Cardiff Met are through. All set up by that kick from BUCS and taken full advantage of. They get another try here on Rugby 1. Half time, Cardiff Met 7, Exeter 22. The subs for Exeter urging their players through this attack, and they have managed to do it.
And we go again in the corner.
We're going again, and once again out in that far side.
We've got 5 minutes left, but they clearly have an objective from this game, and it's just to keep scoring as many points as possible.
So it does end here on Rugby 1 at Cyncoed Campus. Exeter 50, Cardiff Met 7. and both teams go into the final round of the BUCS Super Rugby League in a very contrasting way.
Well, it's never easy watching Met lose on home soil, but let's look ahead to today's fixture against Durham. And I've got two people with me who are going to tell us all about it, but we are joined with former archer Joe Cowell. Joe, how are we?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good, so you're up in comms today, so you'll have loads of research done, I suppose, about today's match. A tough loss against Exeter last week, but looking ahead to Durham today, how are the boys going to fight back?
Yeah, I think obviously it being the last game on Rugby 1 for a lot of these boys will probably be the main message this week. It's never nice losing on Rugby 1 anyway, but by that margin last week I think they definitely have a point to prove. So I think that the messages this week will probably be put a statement out, get ready for Bath in the quarterfinals, and just sort of make the last memories on Rugby 1 a special one.
And lots of recognisable names coming back tonight. So Ian Gardner side really looking to put last week behind them and right those wrongs.
Yeah, definitely. I think the last 2 weeks have been quite tough for Cardiff Met. I think coming into this week as well, Durham needing to get a win away from home to secure a home quarterfinals, massive for them as well. So you can see from the Durham side that they've gone full whack, and I think Cardiff Met have matched that as well. And I think hopefully tonight will be a really good game.
Yeah, obviously tonight is the last fixture of the BUCS Super Rugby League this season. So how are the boys going to be feeling before today's match?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of emotion. You come to university for 3 years, you play in nights like these, they're ones you want to play in, and I think there's so many games that you play over the 3 years, especially in BUCS Super Rugby, that you kind of sometimes forget about them, and only when you leave you sort of realise what you've lost. And I think for some of these boys playing their last time at Rugby 1 is such a special occasion, playing in front of the ultras, such a big noise, and I think for them it'll be a massive occasion. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a really good game.
Last game of the year at Cyncoed, but not the last game of the season. We know we've got our quarter-final away to Bath in a couple of weeks. Do you reckon that the boys will have one eye on that quarter-final in the way they play tonight?
Not necessarily. I think you try and take each game as it comes. This game isn't an easy game by far, and I think playing Bath in the quarter-finals is pretty much secure. I think they want to get a good win before that next week, or in 2 weeks' time. So I think play tonight, get a good result, and hopefully go into Bath flying.
Now, one of the players that will be hoping to feature strongly tonight and in that quarter-final against Bath is replacement hooker Lewis Welsh, who I caught up with earlier. First game back in a while.
Yeah, so I broke my hand a couple of weeks ago. We played Leeds on the Wednesday, and then I doubled up on the Saturday against Clan, and unfortunately broke my hand. So be on the sidelines cheering the boys on for a few weeks. So it's just nice to get back in the squad and hopefully have a performance tonight.
And a lot of the boys, it's going to be their final game playing BUCS Rugby at Cyncoed. Yeah. Big send-off for them tonight. Yeah,
it's going to be huge. I mean, emotions are high. A few of the boys did last game of the season and their last time running out in this pitch, so obviously emotions are going to be high, and they want to give a performance to the fans, the ultras, and most and foremost the coaches as well, so this will be big.
When we played Durham, it was a 9-point loss, so it's definitely a winnable game. How are you having that result affect your approach today?
It's a bit of a revenge, really. They come down here confident. If they get a win tonight, they'll place fourth and get a home quarter, so we're looking to spoil the party a little bit, and we know it's doable. They're a good side, but we also are as well, so it'll be a big occasion, and all the boys have been raring for it, so we're just excited.
Talking about the quarterfinals, we know we're locked in away to Bath in 2 weeks' time. Have you got one eye on that match?
Yeah, I mean, we're all building towards that. I mean, tonight, next week, the previous week has all been a platform trying to build towards our quarterfinal. And I think we're just working hard, performance tonight, to get a bit of momentum, and then going into the quarterfinal with a bit of confidence. So we'll be right.
Cheers, Lewis. Good luck tonight.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's lovely seeing Lewis back from an injury there. So back to you, Joe. You had a successful Met career, and you've also now got a successful career. You played for Wales Under-20s in the Six Nations and also signed for Cardiff Rugby. So what's been that jump from BUCS Rugby to professional rugby?
Not that big, to be honest. I think obviously the size and the experience within professional rugby is a lot different, but you know, the systems and sort of like the way that they train and play every week is pretty much a blueprint of professional rugby as well, which is why it's so special to come to university and play in BUCS Super Rugby. You know, I think a lot of the boys who play in BUCS Super Rugby can take that leap into professional rugby without any sort of problems, really. And I think that's the good thing, not only about BUCS Super Rugby, but about the programme they have here at Cardiff Met as well.
There's life beyond BUCS Super Rugby, clearly, for the players now. Who amongst the current crop do you think could follow in your footsteps and land themselves a pro contract at the end of the season?
Yeah, there's a lot of boys in that team that have a lot of class about them. You know, I think Josh Carrington this year has been on fire, in fairness to him, as he has been for the past 2 years. When I played with him as well, he was brilliant. So it'd be nice to see him get something after BUCS Super Rugby, as well as Ardal Yallop as well. He's been on fire. In fairness to him, you know, he's missing tonight, I think, is a big loss, and you've seen that in the past couple of weeks with him not being in the team. So, you know, I think Steph Crimp's had a good experience as well, playing out in America, and hopefully he can follow that up again next year as well. So, you know, there's a lot of boys in that team that could go on to it. It's just whether or not they do. Fingers crossed.
Well, yeah. Well, let's go a bit more into that pro rugby side. Obviously, Super Saturday coming up, Wales versus England. There's been a lot of changes in that squad, especially the new head coach, Matt Sherratt. If Saturday is successful, do you think that he should stay on and coach for the upcoming season?
I think he's made it pretty clear that he wants to come back to Cardiff. But, you know, in fairness to him, he's a brilliant coach. You can see what he's done in the past couple of weeks with the Welsh seniors team. That, you know, he almost gives that sort of like, you know, the belief in the team that they can go out and win the games. And I think for the future of Welsh rugby, you need to have a coach like that. And I think, you know, he does fit it well. But I think he's made it pretty clear he wants to come back to Cardiff. So, you know, the decision's up to him. But it'd be nice to have him back at Cardiff.
Now, our focus may be on Met tonight, but as we've alluded to there, come the weekend, there is only one ticket in town. What can Wales do to overcome England and end the Six Nations on a real high?
I just think they've got to sort of limit errors, stop England from getting any sort of scores. Obviously, they're a team that thrive on possession and any sort of good things that come out of the game. And I think, you know, playing at home in front of a packed-out Principality is a tough place. And I think, you know, it's a massive derby anyway. I think the boys will be right up for it, hopefully, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a really good watch.
Yeah, definitely. Now, finally, before I send you up to comms, I just want to ask, emotions have been high today as some of the boys are putting on that BUCS jersey for the last time. Do you recall your last match and how were you feeling?
Yeah, I do actually. I got injured in my last BUCS game, but you know, it's a weird one. Like I said earlier, you kind of, for the whole like 2-3 years that you play, you kind of sort of neglect it, and well, not neglect it, but sort of just forget about what it sort of means. And every game's such a big game, and as soon as one game's done, you focus on the next. And I think for the 2-3 years or 1 year that you play it, it goes by really quick. And I think once you come to the last game and you know it's your last game, the build up around it's obviously been talks about it, and probably in a lot of the chats it's been around it as well. So, you know, I think they just got to go out, play their game, not really focus much about it, and then hopefully if they get a good win tonight, then they can go out and celebrate it properly.
Go well. It's been lovely having you both pitch side with me, but I think it's time for you to get up to the commentary box. So we've had some good Met insight from there, but we need some better Durham insight. So we spoke to head coach Simon Cully.
Simon Cully, thank you very much for joining us tonight. A huge game for you, last game of the season. The opportunity to lock in that home quarter-final against Exeter.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge challenge. It's one of the hardest places in BUCS Super Rugby to come. It's not been a happy hunting ground for us, and we know the physical and emotional challenge that Cardiff Met will bring. So hopefully a great game of rugby, great way to finish the league season and launch both of us into successful knockouts.
Yeah, and it's been an interesting season for you. It's a slightly tough start. Only one win in your first 5 games, but then you've gone 5 wins in your last 7 games. So what's been the secret to that turnaround?
I think it's a reflection of the player turnover we had. A lot of guys with very few caps at the start of the season. Good talent, and they've worked hard, and I think they've got a little bit of reward for that hard work as they've applied themselves through the season. But it's a really tough league, and there's a really steep learning curve when you come into it without much experience.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Simon. Good luck for tonight, and all the best for the post-season.
Look after yourself. Speak to you later.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. So Met Durham isn't the only fixture today. There's actually loads of BUCS fixtures going on, and someone who's here to tell us all about it is today's BUCS correspondent, Elliot Phipps. Elliot, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. So have you been doing your research on all the BUCS fixtures?
Well, I have, yeah. And what a night do we have in store tonight, from top to bottom in BUCS Super Rugby. Out of the 10 positions in BUCS Super Rugby, 8 are still up for grabs from top to bottom. So starting up from the top, we have Loughborough in first position, Hartpury in second position, 4 points separating them both. Loughborough, they host bottom of the league Swansea. Hartpury host Leeds Beckett. Now both teams won comfortably in the reverse fixture, so it is unlikely we will see Loughborough lose top spot come the end of the evening. However, Swansea, who currently sit in 10th, have it all to play for as well down the bottom. They currently sit in 10th, the relegation playoff spot. However, they're only 2 points behind Cardiff University in 9th, so it's an all Welsh battle there for bottom spot. Cardiff University, they travel away to Exeter, who also have it all to play for the battle for 4th spot. And they are up against Durham, who are here at Cyncoed Campus tonight. They currently sit in 4th spot. Now, as I said, that 4th spot is a huge position because 4th spot is the final home playoff quarter-final spot in BUCS Super Rugby. So a very big position for that. So Durham, tough game by here tonight at Cyncoed. Exeter host Cardiff. If personally, I reckon that the 4th spot is probably the position change I am looking forward to the most tonight.
There you go. So, like you said, we've got 2 other Welsh teams battling out in the relegation zone. For those who don't know, if Cardiff do get relegated, it means that they won't be able to play Cardiff Met men's team in Cardiff Clash, which is one of the biggest rugby fixtures of the year. So how will that be? What do you think will be done to overcome that?
It'll be a huge blow. I think from a Cardiff Met perspective, it'll be a massive blow because not just from the fans' point of view, the players' point of view, but also for the club point of view in general. You know, the revenue it makes, the exposure that we get across South Wales, the community and university rugby, but also for the players and fans. The players, they look out like any derby in rugby. When the fixture lists come out, that is the fixture that you look for first, because it's such a huge experience. I mean, you saw the emotion in the game, both games, in fact, this season. Huge. And as for the fans, a great day out at Arms Park as well. So it would be an absolutely catastrophic blow if Cardiff were to get relegated from a Cardiff Met point of view tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So you've mentioned the exposure of the players. Now, is there anyone we need to look out for on the pitch today on the Met side?
So from the Met side, I'd watch for Ben Murphy. Number 1, captain, leader, legend for Met. It's his final game at home on Rugby 1 for Cardiff Met, so it'll be a really emotional night for him. Outstanding player, outstanding person as well. Been in and around the camp this season, everyone loves him, players, coaches, the staff, we all love him. Great player, and he'll certainly be a player that will be remembered for a long time at Cyncoed.
Yeah, anyone on the Durham side?
Now for the Durham side, I have picked out number 8, Marcus. He is excellent ball carrier and has been an absolutely integral part of Durham season so far. So Marcus Rhodes, Durham didn't have the best start of the season, 1 win in 5 for Durham, but have ended the season very strongly. And as you said, now are in for a chance of playing at home in the BUCS Super Rugby quarter-final if they do get something from this game tonight.
Well, yeah, there's loads of good players to look out for, but there must be some people in the women's team because actually the women's twos team had an excellent result today. Tell us about that.
Yes, 84-0. It was the final game of the season, so it's given them a chance now of winning the division. Nothing's confirmed as of yet. It's them versus Hartpury, but a fantastic win for them and a fantastic achievement as well this season for them. They've worked their socks off this season. Great team. They've had to play a lot of matches, but fair play to the girls. They were excellent and they've been excellent throughout the season. Thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, well, thanks for those updates, Elliot. You're obviously going to be up in the commentary box giving us all fixtures throughout today's stream. So I'll let you crack on and I'll throw you up to Will Shepherd and Joe Cowell up in commentary.
Thank you, Neve. For the 7th and final time this season, the men of Met are about to run out onto Rugby 1 at Cyncoed Campus. They'll be looking to right the wrongs of last week's hammering by reigning champions Exeter and head into the postseason on a more positive note. Now, this final round of BUCS Super Rugby could see nearly every position on the table shift. Durham travelled to Cyncoed needing a win to secure 4th place and a home quarter-final against Exeter. Elsewhere, Loughborough could win the league title against Swansea, who need that upset victory to have a chance of avoiding a relegation playoff. If they manage that, Hartbury would have a chance of doing the women and men's league double with a bonus point victory over Leeds Beckett. As one of only 2 teams locked into their league position of 6th, the other their quarter-final opponents against Bath, nothing will change from Met over the next 80 minutes except for how they see themselves heading into that match. With that in mind, Ian Gardner has made 7 changes to his starting 15 from last week, opting for experience over experimentation. 4 players who started in a Prem side at the weekend double up tonight with props Ben Murphy and Alex Wakefield, 2 of those. The engine room is as strong as ever. Gethin Cannon has played all but 1 game this season and will lock the scrum alongside Met's top scoring forward Ollie Smith. The back row is unchanged. Alex Terry and Ross McKay return at 9 and 10 in a positive omen for the Archers. The last time they started together was Met's win against Nottingham in Feb. The centres and wings continue from the match against Exeter, with Josh Carrington replacing Tian Evans at fullback. I am delighted to be joined by a legendary Archer tonight in the form of Joe Cowell as we're just moments from kickoff. Joe, welcome back to Rugby 1.
Thank you very much, great to be here.
The last game of the regular season. The quarter-final is locked in, but the Archers have one final opportunity to get the Ultras behind them here at Rugby 1 and head into the postseason against their varsity rivals Bath with the bow well strung. Joe, you've been in this situation before. How would you be approaching this match?
Yeah, obviously, like I said earlier, it's a massive occasion for some of these boys playing their last time on Rugby 1, but everything starts from this first whistle. They want to try and secure the kick-off and get a good bit of field position and then settle into the game, and hopefully from there we can start to have a good game there.
And we have kick-off in this one, the final round of the men's BUCS Super Rugby season of 2024-25. It is a safe take from Met, and then the second man to get his hands on the ball, no surprise, is that captain Ben Murphy. Elliot was just down pitch side talking about him, and we know he is going to put us all in. A fumble though at the base of the ruck, and this will give the first opportunity to Durham. Didn't really feel like Durham should have been able to compete there.
No, I think they went one ruck too many, one phase too many, but you know, I think that's just the sort of the first 5-minute nerves. You think realistically you want to try and get that first breakdown secure and then kick it off, but you know, penalty to Durham now and good field position for them to hopefully, well, get some points on the board.
Yeah, first penalty here for Durham. First opportunity for points. Actually, they have changed their mind. They're going to go for the corner.
Yeah, I think Durham's mindset going into this, they need those 5 points to definitely secure the 4th place. So I don't think they'll be taking any easy threes today. Definitely go to the sideline and test their pack.
Just 5 metres away from Met's line already in this one. There were early scores for Exeter last week and early opportunity for Durham, but that maul, one of their strongest weapons, is shut down immediately by Cardiff Met. And the noise coming from the pitch, the noise coming from the sidelines is exactly the kind of noise that the Archers are going to want to hear all evening.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great feeling when you get that penalty on your own line and when you're under pressure. So glad that they could clear their lines, and hopefully now they can start to get into the game a little bit more.
Yeah, the narrative when you concede that early penalty, that leads to an early try. Such a difficult one to then turn the story around from there. But Met doing exactly what they needed to. They are just outside their 22 now with George Merritt with the ball tucked under his arm. Another of the players who may well be playing his final game at Cyncoed here tonight. 2 penalties in a row now for Met.
Yeah, a bit of a coach killer for Durham, in fairness. I think, start off the game really well. You want to get into the corner, get those first points on the board, silence the Ultras. But they had two penalties consecutively, back on back, and then giving Cardiff Met so much field position. They started off on their 5-metre line, now just outside their 22, and how the tables have turned now.
They really have, as Alex Wakefield, who played at the weekend, playing again here, runs over to pass the line out instructions. They weren't quite understood, but it's worked out all right here as Arthur Moore carries up just short of the 22, pulled back now to McKay. Carrington involved for the first time. That is into the 22 for Met. Murphy just offloads that before the hit comes in. So still moving forward, Met. Terry going digging, decides in the end to go right, and the break from McKay. Just Sport not quite able to get there in time to keep that one moving forward. Murphy again involved. He is going to give absolutely everything in this final Rugby 1 appearance. Met driving forwards, a sense of urgency here and a sense that something is coming. As Terry hurdles over to get to that ruck. Loose ball, well picked up by McKay. Creates a little gap in front of him, which once again he goes through, full of running already. On now to Johnson in the number 12 jersey for Cardiff Met.
Yeah, Cardiff Met got to be patient here inside of the Durham red zone. They want to be patient, no silly penalties, keep the ball, hopefully try and get a bit more ground, work down the phases, and hopefully get that first try.
And there is the try. Looking to see who comes up with it. It might be Ollie Smith who's claimed that one.
Yeah, great from Cardiff Met there. You know, we just spoke earlier about how much this game's going to mean to a lot of the boys, and I think, you know, getting a penalty on their own 5-metre line, working their way up the field, going multi-phases, being patient with the ball, being comfortable with the ball, and then eventually getting that first try. Hopefully, lights up the Ultras now on the sideline, and yeah, bit of confidence for a lot of the boys there.
We have a watch one more time. It's Gethin Cannon who goes digging in there and carries that over. So it may be Ollie Smith, his second row partner, who is Met's top scoring forward. But Gethin Cannon getting himself over the line now, and just moments after it looked like Durham might be getting the early score, it is Met. Motivated by the send-off that they are giving 9 of their players, 9 of the club legends. And they lead 5-0 in this one. 5 minutes into the game. Positive start.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a bit scrappy at the beginning, giving that penalty away, but you know, now's an opportunity for them to again get a clean catch-off kick-off, and hopefully then get the ball back down to the Durham half.
Durham going fairly short on the kick-off. It's Ollie Smith who takes that one. Hadn't quite returned to ground before the attentions of the Palatinates on him, but play is allowed to continue, and comfortably taken there by Durham's left winger, Lucas Rao. They're already up to their 10-metre as Louis Platt drops in at first receiver. Losing a bit of ground there, Durham, and losing possession. This is what we want to see from the Archers, but that not so much. Penalty for Durham. Cardiff Met off their feet at the ruck. And Ben Matamed will have the opportunity to just slow things down for Durham as he looks to kick for touch, taking an extra couple of yards maybe on the mark, and the Ultras making their presence felt here at Cyncoed.
Yeah, decent kick there from Ben, and hopefully now we get to see Durham have an opportunity to attack a little bit inside the Cardiff Mets half.
Well, the last time Durham kicked for touch on a penalty, they went for the maul and had absolutely no success with it. They're not quite able to cling on to that one cleanly, but play does continue for Durham. Big hit there. Very physical contest off this line out. And they go now to the short side. There is Marcus Rhodes, our first opportunity to see him carrying the ball. On to Burnham. And that ball just knocked forwards in the ruck off the foot of Archie Clark. The Scotland under-20s representative gives possession to Cardiff Met, which they kick away, and that one is just going to fall infield before Henry Kerwin could get there. Watched out by Boris Amos, and Durham throw.
Yeah, just a little bit scrappy from Durham there in a couple of phases. You know, they worked hard to get around the corner, but I just think maybe like the first couple of minute nerves, you know, a little kick through the ruck is just, you know, just in terms of that momentum that they want to try and build in this first half. It's a bit of a coach killer, to be honest, like giving the ball away that easily, and giving Met a lot of confidence as well.
Will Ayton throwing in for Durham. That one much more safely taken than the last one, and moved away from the line out straight away. Rhodes managing to roll forwards there and gain some extra yards. Back to Ayton. Big hit from Murphy and Smith. So Charles will go for the box kick here on halfway. Kerwin's underneath it. Hand in from Durham, but it's Cannon who ends up Merritt who ends up with hands on the ball. McKay kicking a bit of a flat banana over the top there. Well dealt with by Durham, and then back inside to Rao, who's hit hard. The Ultras love that. Joe, we talk a lot as a quick penalty tap is taken by Durham. I'll come back to you on the Ultras question. I was going to ask that. Moving this quickly, Durham.
So 50-22 potentially.
It's just going to stay in. Josh Carrington picks that one up. Can he keep it in touch? Does really well. Kerwin now trying to break out the 22, and he does. Steps back to the outside. Wonderful run from Henry Kerwin. Such an attacking threat all season long, and showing no signs of stopping tonight. Johnson now with the offload to Carrington. We've not seen the Archers attack with this kind of fluency, this kind of commitment for a long time, Joe.
No, but it's great to see it, and I think, you know, we've been blessed with such good evasive runners in Josh Carrington and Henry Kerwin, and I think get them on the ball early, give Met a lot of confidence going through now. You see, you know, Josh getting the ball inside the 22 there, Henry Kerwin making a mini line break, and you know, it's good for the confidence there.
Yeah, lost forwards there, but I mean, you called the fact that the 50-22 was on. It could have been a defensive line out in their own red zone, and instead it's a defensive scrum, but it's inside Durham's half. So ultimately, they're in the positives column at the moment, the Archers.
Yeah, they are, and I think, you know, first scrum of the game as well, so will set the precedence for the rest of the game, I think. And you know, it's a big pack coming down from Durham. They're renowned to have a big pack, big scrummage and big mauling pack, and I think, you know, there's a lot of experience in the Cardiff Met pack as well, and I think, you know, this first scrum will be a pretty good indicator of how the game's going to go.
Big pack for Durham, but an experienced pack for Met as well. First scrum, first reset scrum as well.
Yeah, you're just trying to see both packs trying to get across the mark there, trying to get the upper hand on their opposite number, but it all matters when, as soon as the referee says set, and yeah, you lock horns there.
Options both sides for Durham if they can get the ball in the scrum. Referee making sure things are taken slowly. Scrum stable and now starts to come up. Ball's out. Both scrum halves go for it at the same time. It's Rhodes who gets on it, but stolen by Jones. Met up to the 22. Moving to the left-hand side. McKay has options outside him. Johnson with support. Good run. On go the Archers now through the forwards. Support looked to be coming from Jones, but they go out the back to Carrington and just lost forwards there. Really unfortunate. Durham with the opportunity to counter. Cohen has to make this tackle. He does, and he's supported by Terry. Durham will be relieved to have seen that threat out, and they'll look to clear their lines here.
Yeah, good pressure there. Again, like we spoke about, this Mets giving the ball up, but they're getting it back pretty easily as well. And I think, you know, if you're from the Durham side, you'd be pulling your hair out there. You just want to get a clean exit and hopefully just try and play a bit of rugby in the Met half here.
Yeah, it was almost Durham overcommitting. There weren't the Met players at the ruck, and they just fell forward.
Yep.
That put the pressure on Freddie Charles with no support around him, and just the fumble of the ball. So, first time that we will see an Archer feed of the scrum, and it is inside the Durham 22.
Yeah, you can imagine a big push coming in from Durham here. They thought they might have had the better of Met in the last scrum, so I think they'll be licking their lips for this one. Opposition ball, try and put as much pressure on Cardiff Met as much as they can.
Now, if Ardal Yallop was playing, I'd be expecting a pick and go from him at the base of the scrum here. Will Owen, he's no stranger to a big run himself. What do you think in this position the Archers are going to go for?
Well, you kind of see the way that the backline is sort of set up. Henry Kerwin sat behind Chris Johnson. You would assume that they might go to try and play an edge, try and get their big ball carriers on the ball, maybe get Chris Johnson up through the middle. But again, like you said, Will Owen's not shy to pick up from the back of a scrum, and you know he's a big boy as well, and he could get a bit of gain line here.
Penalty to Cardiff Met. The referee not happy with what's going on at scrum time at the moment. It's taken a long time to get both of the set plays set, and ultimately it's Durham who have attracted the referee's ire more than the Archers. So their first opportunity to throw into a line out just 5 metres from the Durham line.
Yeah, you can imagine Cardiff Met getting excited here. A lot of practice goes in over the weeks of these mauls, so see what happens now.
It's moving steadily infield, moving steadily forwards.
Yeah, they've committed Henry Kerwin and Chris Johnson as well. They want to keep this ball in.
There goes Ollie Smith tearing out the side of the ruck, the pick and go. Still going.
Yeah, they got advantage as well, Cardiff Met.
Held up, however, so we will come back for that advantage. And we are going for a tap and go here. It looks like Ben Murphy over the ball. How nice would it be to see Murphy score in his final game at Cyncoed? It is Murphy who takes it on first. Terry.
You go with this Willow in there, big carry from him. Again, no, they just need to be patient, get the speed of ball that they want, draw in a lot of Durham defenders, and hopefully get it over the line.
They did draw Durham in very tight when they were last in this position. Advantage again. Now they go out to the backs.
Yeah,
over. And called back. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the referee have a word with the Durham captain here.
Yeah, quite a lot of piggyback of penalties and errors from Durham. You know, they've within the first sort of 10 minutes they've given away 5 or 6 penalties, and you know a lot of them have been inside the 22 as well. So, you know, I think he's having a chat there that if it carries on, then they might see someone go into the bin there.
Here we're just seeing the held up attempt over the line for Cardiff Met. So the second penalty here, and it looks like they're going for the pick and go again. So 6 points really that have been turned down here. Right, cool?
Yeah, we'll soon see now.
That's a great run.
Yeah, they turned it over. Good pressure there from the number 8 and captain Marcus.
Yeah, so points left on the park. With Durham's defence suddenly clicking into gear, suddenly more disciplined than they had been previously. So they will be happy with that end result.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling when you're on the field, you know when you have momentum or not, and when you know you've got the momentum and it swings in your favour, you want to try and get as many points as you can. And I think taking a 3 this early into the game, you might have been a good decision after 2 or 3 penalties. But fair play, they backed themselves, and hopefully it doesn't pay dividends in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that second one was in line with the left post. It would have been bread and butter stuff for Ross McKay. But it remains Met 5, Durham 0. As Durham hit Hipperson in the line out. And are now charging through a broken maul up to halfway. And again, finding that the ground just opens up in front of them. As Harry Willard, the vice-captain, looks to take that through the line, but is met with stiff defence by Cardiff Met. Josh Carrington competing in the air. Ball's gone backwards for Met. Kerwin running into his own teammate in the form of Chris Johnson. That's not going to help Cardiff, so the advantage from the knock-on is up, and they will go back for the scrum on the 22. So what I was going to ask you all that time ago when we had the scrum on the Durham 10-metre line was we talk a lot on commentary about the Ultras support here at Cyncoed. You, unlike us, have had the privilege of playing on this pitch, pulling on the Met jersey. What is that Ultra support like? Yeah, it's brilliant. I think there's a lot of boys in there who play in rugby down in like the BUCS teams, and they play on a Wednesday and come straight to a Wednesday night game, and they make it a spectacle that it is. A lot of them are your mates as well, which is really nice. And yeah, they're just a bunch of absolute lunatics, to be honest, who absolutely love rugby and love Cardiff Met. So yeah, it's brilliant to have on your side, especially. Charge down, opportunity for Durham, and it has ended up in their hands. This play is a very dangerous one, and Met need to scramble in defence. They've done well so far, as Smith takes it up to the line, and now on to Oscar Stock. Good shot. Big Good hit. Shot. The referee says that has gone backwards as Louis Platt tries to find a gap. Kick coming in from Durham, and Carrington clearing up. Carried back over is the call, so it's going to be a Durham scrum 5 metres out. Not the exit set that Met were looking for. No, definitely not, but I think they scrambled quite well to stop them from going in the corner there. But again, it's a bit of a weird one. You think that the way that Durham are playing, they go in 1 or 2 phases and then doing crossfield kicks, chips in behind. Whether or not they've sort of analysed Met to have some sort of like high line speed, you don't know. But they go in 2 or 3 phases, putting it behind, putting the pressure on the back 3. But yeah, to have a scrum 5 metres out of the line you want to score across is pretty good outcome for Durham, in fairness. This their best attacking opportunity since that opening minute when they had the penalty kick down into the corner and were unable to convert from the driving maul. Again, the referee not happy at scrum time. This feels like it might be turning into a bit of a long story through the night, Joe, if we can't get scrums set and fed on their first attempt. Yeah, you can see both teams are probably trying to load quite heavily onto each other, which is obviously causing a lot of movement between each other. But the referee himself is a very experienced ref, and he'll have none of it. You can see he's just spoke to them there. I can't imagine it being many more times he's going to have that chat. The pick and go from Rhodes. Caught short. Yeah, that's a nasty tackle there. Durham working to the right-hand side. Met getting their defence over there. Just holding on at the moment. Yeah, like I said earlier with Cardiff Met being patient, it's the same with Durham. A couple of times they've had this occasion where they're going around the corner. Just got to try and be patient with it. But the way that Cardiff Met are defending at the moment, you can see there's a lot of emotion in this game. But again, with that emotion, there's a couple of penalties coming from it, as we have another advantage again. Rhodes with the tap and go. Very nearly over goes the captain. And then on to Smith. Now out to the backs. It's Vernon who attempts to go himself, and he was hit hard there. Charles will feed this back in field. to Hipperson. Slowed down well here by Met. Okay, round the corner now, Durham.
Yeah, they've got to be squeaky clean here. Cardiff Met, no penalties given away.
And another penalty to Durham.
Another high tackle as well.
We did, of course, have a yellow card for Cardiff Met last week, so they need to be careful. They must keep 15 men on the park, as Durham are one of only 3 sides in the men's BUCS Super Rugby this season not to have conceded a single card this whole season. So their discipline is generally immaculate. Met's needs to be the same, as we see the latest infringement there.
Yeah, you can see the Durham forwards huddling there as well. But looks like they're probably going to go for a scrum, but like we said earlier, they have so many penalties inside the 22 of Cardiff Met. When's the right decision to think, right, cash your chips, get the 3 points, and then work back and try and build that score that way? I don't know.
It's interesting, no side wanting to go for the kick at goal on any of the penalties that we've had so far, and we have had quite a few, given we're only 20 odd minutes into this game. As we wait here for this injury to be tended to, we have another look at Gethin Cannon's opening score for Cardiff Met. Full of attacking intent in the opening few minutes were the Archers, and it's Cannon who just powered over there, supported by Ollie Smith. Really nice drive for him.
Yeah, very nice. Especially he's probably one of the boys who are leaving this year as well. So to get a try on Rugby 1 in your last game is very special.
He does describe Rugby 1 as his favourite rugby ground of all the ones he's played at. So yeah, special place for Cannon, as it is for all of our Archers. And we're still just a couple of moments away from resuming with a Durham penalty. It's Arthur Moore who's down.
Go, yeah?
Drive once again, stopped before the line. Hands on for Durham.
Another advantage coming there. You know, he's had a chat with Ben Murphy now. You wonder whether or not if they get any points here, whether or not he goes to his pocket.
I would not be surprised. And he has given that. It was a slightly non-triumphant blow of the whistle to award that try, but Durham are level. I personally was kind of expecting the whistle to go for the penalty try after the number of penalties that had been conceded by Met just in front of their line.
Yeah.
Get the opportunity. He looked short there.
That's the number 8.
Yeah, it is.
The captain, Marcus.
Jack Vernham will attempt to add the extras here and put Durham into the lead. He does so. Really nice kick from him. Cardiff Met 5, Durham 7 after the try from Marcus Rhodes. He has had an incredible BUCS career, Joe. I don't know whether you're aware, but he's in his 3rd year right now. He has played 56 consecutive games for Durham. He's never missed a BUCS match in his 3 years at the university. Really incredible feat, and you know, if you're going to concede a try to anyone, a guy like that's probably not the worst.
Yeah, I played against him a couple of times when I was here at Met, and he's a big old boy. He's a big, strong ball carrier, and shown that so far tonight as well.
Carrington managing to take that one as he slips forwards and then breaks through here and still going. Offloads to Merritt, who's got Terry, and outside him he had Staton, who was just caught but managed to hold on to the ball. Now on to Johnson. Terry there to keep this one moving quickly. It's Toby Locke, scored last week for the Archers, the only try that that Met were able to get in that one. Loose ball, but Merritt picks it up.
Yeah, did well there, Mez.
Thrown to the ground as Jones is the latest Archer to take this one forwards, but they have lost ground since the start of this attack, and Jones not able to keep a hold of that one. Loose ball kicked away, and Met need to get back there to avoid this becoming a counter-attacking threat from Durham. Locke did well. Terry will look to just set a platform here for him to get the box kick in, relieve the pressure for Cardiff Met. Another charge down. This one at least ends up back in the hands of Cardiff Met, unlike the last time. Just didn't really have the guard set around the ruck there.
No, it didn't look too long, to be honest. And yeah, they're lucky to get the ball back and rebuild, and hopefully now get the ball off the pitch and sort of reassess, which Tez has done well there, to be fair.
He goes flatter and he goes with a tighter angle to make sure it does end up off the park. Chance for Met to catch their breath.
Yeah, we just spoke about there about how evasive the back three are for Cardiff Met, but you see the likes there of like Josh Carrington just giving Cardiff Met that front foot ball, that mini line break that they had there, give them a bit of confidence. Brilliant to have in your team, certainly with Josh there.
Yeah, he was so strong as he was breaking that line. Somehow had the ability to push the second tackler off, despite the fact that he was already being pulled back by the original defender. So a little gap is found there by Matamid, who then offloads to Hipperson in support. McKay just clinging on to the ankle to stop that latest attack as Willard is into the Met 22.
Yeah, they need to stop Durham from getting a bit of gain line here every time they get in a carry. They're making yards. Both tacklers, they're putting two into a tackle, but they're both going quite high. You want one man to go low, try and chop the guy, stop him from getting any sort of front football. The more front football Durham get, the quicker ball they have, the quicker speed of ball they get to try and get to an edge.
You can really see them growing into the game, growing confidence as they do get more time in possession, and that is the last thing that Cardiff Met need. So let's just take another look at that break from Josh Carrington. He'd done really well to catch the ball in the first place, and then just twists through, and there's that bust, and then the offload for good measure. Yeah,
he's a bit of a freak athlete, to be honest to him. He's a very tall guy. He's fast, but also he's very strong in the tackle as well. As much as he can sort of be evasive and make those steps, but he can also and knock people over as well, which is good for him.
We might be looking at a substitution here. Not for the first time. Arthur Moore is down, so we could see Josh Hart make an early appearance in this one.
Yeah, gone down a couple of times now, Arthur. I think he hurt himself within the first sort of 5 minutes, so hopefully nothing too serious for him.
And he does have to make way. Not the way he would have wanted the final game of the season at Cyncoed to end for him. But he will have the support of the Archers behind him to keep him warm on the bench.
Yeah, the good thing about Josh Hart coming on now is he don't lose any sort of physicality either. He's a very good player defensively. He loves putting a couple of big shots in as well, so look out for that.
A man who lists his glasses and his contact lenses as his most valuable possession. Let's hope he has both lenses in order to make the best possible impact off the bench here. His first job will be on the flank of this scrum. A scrum that might be able to be fed on the first opportunity. We will see. No. In my playing days, I was a 10, I was a 15. I tried to stay away from the scrum. You had no such feelings about it. You were in the front row. What's going on at this point?
No, it's the best part about the game, if you ask me, to be honest. No, I think it's the only time that you can actually go head on head with someone in the opposite number and have that sort of physical battle. You can see a couple of times there that they are battling it out, but they're struggling to keep it up. And I don't think Ben, the referee, will be having much more of it. And see, he just pulled the front row there. He won't be having much more of that, to be honest.
And when the referees do pull you over to have that conversation, do you ever think, well, hang on, looking at you, I know you've never been near a front row yourself. You don't really know what you're talking about. Leave it to us. Is that sometimes the thought going through your head?
Nah, always respect for the referees there. Nah, you listen to what he's got to say, but it's an individual battle. You wanna get the front foot on your opposition number.
Whatever he said has been listened to. That scrum firm from both sides, and a pick and go from Durham over into the hands of Charles, who's driven back slightly. So they now work it back in field. Patience needed from Durham. Patience needed from Met as well, who have shown indiscipline in this area of the field, but that's much more positive.
Yeah, great work there from Ben Murphy, I think, just slowing the ball down, just trying to stop Durham's fold, get numbers back on feet for Cardiff Met, and hopefully bring a bit of line speed here.
Stepping back inside goes Muhammad. The line still there for Met, and loose ball just about held on to by Hipperson. On now to Stott, who's charging in. Nothing doing on that left-hand side, so they come back to the right. Much better defence from Met.
Good shot.
Big hit.
And a turnover as well. Brilliant defence.
That is excellent stuff from George Merritt. He is having a really good season in this number 2 jersey for Cardiff Met. And he knows that Lewis Welsh has returned to the bench, so he will be wanting to make put in the absolute best display he can to keep himself on the pitch, not have an early substitution.
Yeah, brilliant set of defence there from Cardiff Met, and you can imagine guards being very happy with that block there.
Watch there, yeah, Merritt alive to the opportunity, straight over, hands on the ball, and able to then gain an extra couple of metres as well. Durham, though, won't be too disappointed with the position they find themselves in, just outside Met's 22, and with the throw into the line-out. After the first one went awry, they have been a lot more secure. And just as I say that one ends up loose, chipped through. Dangerous, but it is well cleared up by Met's try scorer, Gethin Cannon. Murphy.
You can imagine Alex Terry wanting to get a bit of distance on you, or Ross. Oh, they're looking to play it. Here we go.
Lovely to see, and Carrington just stepping back inside. Still they'll go to that left-hand side. Here goes Locke with the fullback, and he's got support. And again to Locke. Oh, what a covering tackle from Durham. Incredible stuff. Knocks that ball flying forwards out of Locke's hands, and the try goes begging for Cardiff Met. What an attack that was. Such bravery from Met to do that from their own lines, and it almost paid off handsomely for them.
Yeah, definitely. You can see normally you try and think that they would try and just exit and get a bit of field position there, but to have that confidence, you can see
on to the far side. It's going to be flung in field in just a moment.
It's a brilliant line there by Alex Terry as well, running the scrum halves line.
Just as it looked like Locke had managed to get control of that ball under his right arm, he was hit with a wonderful tackle. Durham just hold on to their lead by the barest of margins.
Yeah, you feel as well like the past sort of like 5-10 minutes of the momentum in Cardiff Met, and the noise around Rugby One definitely has gone a bit quiet as well. So to have that line break there gives the ultras a bit of noise, and yeah, puts the pressure all back on Durham now.
A big role for the ultras to play indeed. It will be a Durham feed at this scrum, but they will be packing down, not just against the 8 men on the pitch in front of them, but a couple of thousand, and I reckon we probably got around this pitch cheering on the Archers.
Yeah, I think maybe the comms in the Cardiff Met pack at the moment now put as much pressure on the scrum as they can, force Durham to sort of get a shortened exit, and then they can try and play a little bit from a restart, from a line out.
So both forward packs still benefiting from the word that they had from the referee at the last scrum time. And the kick.
Don't normally see that.
No. Kick coming in from Rhodes after he picked from the base of the scrum. Carrington once again, such a threat. Kerwin now, what can he do? Well, he is caught by Matamed. Looked like he was going to be driven back for a moment, but just about found the ground, as did that ball, unfortunately. And so it is Durham who will take over. And the flick back inside coming from Louis Platt, but not able to be read by his teammate, and all is lost over the sideline. Advantage still being played for the knock-on, so we will go back for the Durham scrum. And that is, of course, the famous face of Steph Crimp waiting on the bench today. Huge for Met to be able to have a player with his experience amongst their subs and bring on in the critical later stages of this match.
Yeah, he's a brilliant person to have in the 23, whether that's start or on the bench. And I think having that name in the team sheet definitely is a lot of confidence for the boys. You know, having him come on when the game's in the mix, you never know what he's going to do. He can finish the game out, and he can also make something out of nothing as well. So yeah, a brilliant person to have in that 23, and a warm welcome back to him.
Durham making great ground off that scrum. It was Rowell who was the last man on the ball there, charging up the right wing, as Smith just spins and gains a couple of metres. Quickly through the hands, wasting no time, going from the far right over to the left hand side of the pitch. And they will come back for the penalty. It had been a few minutes since the referee last had to go to his whistle for a penalty, but it does feel like the balance is in favour of Durham at the moment, Joe. Sweet.
Yeah, it's frustrating, I think. Obviously they make a lot of yards and a line break on the edge, but to give a penalty away like that, I think they've done Josh Carrington for having his hands past the ball, but there's just no need to get in there. I understand he wants to try and slow the ball down and get his boys back on side, but you want to be squeaky clean, because they're such a powerful pack that they will try and take as much from this.
You do need to be squeaky clean, especially this close to half time. Will not be long before the whistle goes to end this first 40 minutes, and it is Durham who have the opportunity to go from a 2-point lead into something rather more sizable. That line out, not going to be taken by, not going to be accepted by the referee, so will be re-thrown. How crucial are these final minutes of the first half?
Yeah, vital. I think you don't want to be given any sort of momentum going into half time. I know it says the time's up on the scoreboard, but it's not linked in with the ref's watch, and I think you don't know how many minutes there's left in this game. But to get a free kick here, hopefully get a bit more field position up the field, and then finish the half off on a high.
Met lucky that they escape that latest Durham foray into their 22 without having to do the hard work of defending a driving maul. And this will be it should be a Durham throw. It's just a free kick from the line out.
Yeah, this game just changes up there.
Yeah, the referee just making sure the assistant referee is aware of what had been called. So Durham will have another opportunity to attack before the first 40 are out, but they will have to do it from far further back than they would have done had they got their last line out thrown in correctly. This one is okay. Quickly out of the back of the maul. And again, shifting the point of attack rather than going tight. Rhodes involved so much as Durham attempt to bust through Met's defence. That's a good hit. And forced to kick, possession away. Carrington turns and does well. Clears his own lines.
Good kick that.
Durham with the opportunity to counter though. There is space over on this near side. And in the end, they go for the kick. I think it was just inside.
Yeah, it rolls out.
Yeah, it was just inside Met's half, so the 50-22 wouldn't have been taken, and in the end it goes dead, and that will be that for the first period. So a completely different story to this time a week ago when the game was pretty much already gone for Cardiff Met against Exeter. They scored first in this one after only a few minutes. Gethin Cannon, the man who found his way over. Durham have struck back since then. They have got a 2-point lead, but they're so in this game, and if they come back out the way they started that first half, they've got every reason to believe that they could do this.
Yeah, 100%. I think they'd be going into half-time with more confidence than Durham. I think the chats at half-time from guards and Cully will probably be that there was 2 penalties where they could have taken 3 points there. So to be up again about 11-7 is a completely different story to how it is now 5-7. So. I think they just need to be able to, limit the errors, take the chances when they have them, and fingers crossed they see the game through.
Yeah, 2 penalties that they didn't take, but one thing they will have to be aware of is that there were a lot of penalties given to Durham in their 22, so that will certainly be something that Ian Gardner will be speaking to his side about in the sheds. In terms of what we're speaking about now, it is time to throw you down to 2 of the more creative people on the Sports Broadcast Masters here at Cardiff Met. Niamh and Georgie, back to you.
There you go, thank you very much, Phil Shepherd. Now, it's been an exciting half, is very close, but on Cyncoed Campus, sport and entertainment comes in many forms. So I'm joined with my fellow student, Georgie Haynes, and we've decided to make a podcast that combines 2 of our biggest loves, food and sport. So before we get into it, let's take a look at the trailer.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Just Hungry podcast. I'm Georgie.
And I'm Niamh.
And this is the podcast where we chat
a lot
about food and sport.
So a rugby episode, another rugby one, however, we've not had a player on yet, so looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we've got Isaac Marsh on today, otherwise known as Cousin Rugby on socials.
Yeah, a bit of an all-rounder this one, so ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Let's go. Joined with Isaac, how are we?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
When did you start playing rugby?
Literally since I was 5 years old.
What made you choose Cardiff Met?
The rugby is amazing. The rugby programme is amazing. It was here or Cardiff Uni, and I'm probably not smart enough to go to Cardiff Uni, and the rugby's better here anyway. Yeah. I'd like to be one of the most followed influencer in the rugby space. Kaizen means continuous improvement, so it's like a Japanese philosophy. I ended up getting it tattooed on me actually just
really?
before I started the business.
So what's the sort of goal with coaching? Like, what would be the dream?
Well, the absolute dream would be like to coach professionally, internationally. That'd be so cool.
Pre-match, you've got a rugby game.
Yeah.
What are you going to eat?
So it's actually all about the build-ups. It's all about the 2 or 3 days before, getting good fats, just kind of building up your energy store. I always tell people I coach to just eat what makes you feel comfortable. Some people can't eat before a game.
Should we get on to a bit of fun?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we have a segment called the 3 C's. A can, a crisp and a chocolate.
A can of... Can it be alcohol?
There you go. So that was a trailer from our episode with Cyncoed Rugby, who's actually been on one of our streams. So we like to celebrate all athletes, Met athletes and coaches and loads of others who are on campus. But Georgie, do you want to tell everyone why we actually started this podcast?
So me and you met over a conversation about what we had for lunch, and the idea was born. So we thought it'd be interesting to get an insight into every sports athlete, about their pre-match, post-match food, and I think it gives you a little bit of insight into what someone's like.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I've mentioned we've had Cyncoed Rugby Isaac Marsh on the pod, but he's not the only big name we've had on. Tell everyone who else we've had.
He's not, obviously. We love you, Isaac. But we've also had Livy Phillips, a wheelchair basketball player. We have had Aussie rules, cricket, we have had hockey, we've had physios, we've had coaches, we've had Reese Jones from the women's rugby team as well. So we've had a variety of diets on the podcast.
Yeah, so mentioning diet, what we like to do on our podcast is ask a certain athlete or whoever's on their favourite athlete and compare what they eat versus what their inspirations eat. So, that is their pre-match, their post-match, but we have a fun segment called the 3 C's, and we've asked you over on our Just Hungry podcast Instagram page what your 3 C's are. So before we read out the answers, explain to the audience what the 3 C's are.
So the 3 C's are a brilliant idea by our fellow commentator upstairs in the gantry. It was a can of drink, a crisp and a chocolate bar. If you were to walk into a Tesco, into a garage, what would be your go-to 3 C's?
Yeah, so go on, we've done a little poll.
We have.
Do you read out your favourites so far, Georgie?
So we've got a Fanta, Thai sweet chili chicken McCoys, which I think are a fan favourite.
Yeah, a fan favourite, not from me, but
Although,
carry on.
Maybe ready salt and vinegar. A fan favourite, sorry.
That's my 3 C's, but you go on.
And a peanut butter Kit Kat.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of the Tex. They love that.
They do.
Give us one more before we wrap up.
What about Pepsi Max? That's our favourite.
Yeah.
We love a Pepsi Max. The blue Doritos.
Rogue. That's an Aussie Rules one, that is, from one of the Aussie Rules episodes.
And a Kinder Bueno with that one as well, which is also your favourite.
And that's my favourite as well. Now, from one broadcasting dynamic duo to another, Will Richards and Alex Bayliss have actually created their own football magazine show, which is out on YouTube now. But let's take a look at what it's all about.
Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Archers Football Extra Time.
Not that time stood still or anything, but you're like, this is probably the best chance you're going to get, this has to go in, kind of thing.
And do I miss playing? Absolutely. Yeah. But that third season when we went away to Bala and we won on penalties was a special moment, and then the European experience itself.
This is varsity, isn't it? So you want to play well, you want to win, and I know we'll definitely be going to win.
Yeah. To Reynolds shoots, and there's another goal for Cardiff Met.
There you go. So you can find Archers Football Extra Time over on the Cardiff Met FC YouTube channel. Now, it's the first of its kind. It's a show that follows the Welsh JD Cymru Premier team. And they actually, last week, beat Caernarfon, keeping them 4th in the league. So let's see how they did it with these highlights. there you go. So the boys will be facing Penabont next Friday. But let's focus on today's match again. It's close, it's a close call, but I'm going to take you back up to commentary, who are going to take us through to the next half.
It is very close here at Rugby 1. Cardiff Met 5, Durham 7 at half-time. Met scored first, Durham struck back. Both sides have turned down a number of opportunities to kick it goal and potentially put themselves into a more sizable lead here. It feels like there's almost been a bit of a paralysis of thought in those moments, which we'll come on to in a moment, maybe is to do with the bigger picture. But first of all, we'll just have a look at this Met try. So early on, they found themselves in a promising position in the 22 as Johnson burst through there, and then it was Cannon who would get his hands on the ball and drive over. Patience shown here. They didn't have that same patience later on when they were in the 22, and Durham were able to defend it. What was different here?
I just think they got a bit excited in the second attempt. They went near it. I think, you know, early on in the game they wanted to get the points on the board, and they were patient. But you see how quickly the tables turn when Durham are up on the Cardiff Met line as well.
And then it was Durham who were down at the other end and trying to burrow their way over as well, but they were eventually held up on this particular one. This was around the time that Met started a run of conceding penalties on their own try line.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's a weird one, isn't it? You get so many opportunities, and you wonder when they're going to go to the points. But I think, you know, Durham, in fairness, they were patient as well, wanted to go through the phases, and you can see here the number 8 going over for their first try of the evening as well.
Yeah, that is Rhodes' 5th try of the season. We are about to see here, pick and go, and it looked like he was short, then just realised that the line was actually there and he could shove the nose of the ball down on it, and the referee on the spot to award the try. That was then converted by Jack Vernon, the league's 6th highest point scorer from the tee, and it put Durham into a 2-point lead. So yeah, what we were talking about there, well, we were off air, and the action was down in the studio with Niamh and Georgie, was the fact that there is a bigger picture here for Durham. They know that they're going to play Exeter in the quarter-final, but they need to win tonight to be sure that quarter-final's at home. Those are the two teams in BUCS Super Rugby that are furthest from one another. So really, you know, Durham absolutely want to be playing at home, not having to take the trip down to Exeter.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you ask someone at the start of the season whether or not they want a home or away quarter-final, I think every single team in the league will want that home quarter, one because it's the home comfort, and also because it's your home patch. You get a big crowd there. You can kind of see in the first half there that Durham were a little bit nervous. Seemed that like they didn't really know what they wanted to do. I think they went out with some sort of idea that they wanted to get like the maximum points, and with that they take the opportunities, but you just don't know how many opportunities they're going to get in the second half. And I think go out first to win the game. If they do get the 4 tries and the bonus point, then happy days. But you can't go out and try and force things, because 9 times out of 10 it'll normally go against you.
Talking about the bigger picture in the league, all of the results tonight could determine the finishing positions of the sides in the table, and that determines who they will play in the quarter-finals. It's a tight one here in Rugby 1. There are a couple of tight ones around the league, but first of all we're going to hear from Elliot Phipps about the demolition job that's taking place up in the Midlands at the moment. Loughborough with one hand on the league winners trophy already, Elliot.
Yeah, thank you, Will. You were absolutely spot on. But there, Loughborough 45-0 up at home to Swansea. Now, of course, Swansea as well, they needed to get a result from this game to have any chance of getting out to the relegation playoff spots as well. So Loughborough, as you said, one hand on the BUCS Super Rugby trophy. Swansea, 1 foot already in the relegation playoff.
And the good news for us as Cardiff Met is that means that there will be a men's Cardiff clash next year as well as the women's one. So that's very positive for us. Our quarter-final opponents, Beth, well, they're
not quite as far ahead, but they're relatively comfortable against Nottingham.
They were, yeah, they had an early start, went 5-0 up, but then were quickly pegged back by Nottingham, and it was 5-0 for quite a while. A very strong end to the first half, and Bath now 19-5 up and looking to add to that now in the second half.
Hartbury, who needed other results to go their way to have a chance of ending up as league winners, well, they are behind to Leeds Beckett. I'm sure an update that no one here at Met will be sad to hear about.
No, yeah, you're right. Now, this is perhaps the shock of the evening so far. Obviously, Hartbury, they needed to win to have any chance of trying to win the BUCS Super Rugby title. It was left for a 45-0 up, and then losing at home to Leeds Beckett 7-5. Looks very, very unlikely that Hartbury are going to win the BUCS Super Rugby this season.
Now, Durham could lose this game and still end up in fourth. That would be if Exeter failed to win. They're playing Cardiff tonight.
No, I said pre-game that I thought fourth place was the position change to watch, because I knew Cardiff Met wouldn't make it easy here at Cyncoed tonight, and Durham are certainly having to work for it. They only find themselves 7-5 up, but they have found it hard. Exeter as well then, down on Rubber Crumb in Devon. They are being held 12-all at home to Cardiff University. Well, of course, you need a result to confirm the safety in the BUCS Super Rugby for next season. And good news.
And it's just to cut away from you there, Elliot. Sorry, thank you for the updates. But this is an opportunity for Durham to get an early score in the second half. They fling it over to that left-hand touchline, just about clung onto by the winger. And still, it is Durham in possession. In now to Smith, who's still going. That first tackle not able to bring him to ground. On to Stott. But the ball lost forwards. Carrington picks it up, and Met very relieved to come away with this one. And still going up to the 22. This is a nice little counter as Josh Hart is involved. The early substitution for Cardiff Met. And Met just need to set themselves a platform to exit here, but they keep finding half breaks that allow this attack to continue moving. McKay picking up a bouncing ball there. Slower ball here, so Merritt has to go in and act at scrum half, feeds the captain. Terry will now look for the box kick. Just goes with a little chip on this occasion. That's going to turn away from Amos and end up going over the touchline. A Durham line out inside the half. And after what seemed like a routine start to this second half, it suddenly got a little bit frantic there, Joe.
Yeah, I think it's given Cardiff Met a good chance to kind of catch their breath a little bit. I think they went for a short line out trying to get the ball back through Josh Carrington, and then next thing you know, they're defending on the 5-metre line again. And it's good defence, but like we said again, it's just scrappy from Durham. They're trying too hard around that area. You need to be patient and work the phases, but you can see that they're trying to get the points on the board here.
And the break coming in now. Amos, he's got support from his fellow winger in Rowell, and Rowell will find his way to the line for Durham University. Their second try, and it comes just 3 minutes into the second period. Their lead extended to 7 points here.
Yeah, definite nerve settler for Durham there, and I think you can kind of see on the faces of the Durham, not that they kind of see themselves as being halfway there now. 2 tries down, 2 more to go to get that crucial bonus point to secure a home quarter-final.
Well, Lucas Rowell really grabbing the opportunities that come his way. He scored 2 tries off the bench last week, which gave him the opportunity to make his first start for Durham. The fake pump, and goes himself. 3 tries in 2 games for the young man.
Yeah, you can imagine Jack starting kicking himself a little bit there. Tough tackle for him to make, in fairness. A lot of the boys inside of him shooting out the line, so he has to naturally go in, but then to try and kick back out and make that one-on-one tackle, but unfortunately didn't manage that. But yeah, definite nerve settler for Durham there.
A nerve settler for Durham and a setback for
Cardiff Met. 4 minutes into this game, they have gone from into this half. Sorry, they've gone from 2 minutes down, 2 points down, to 9 points down. But they have made a key personnel change. Steph Crimp is on. So the experience, calm head of the third year will hopefully start to make an effect for Cardiff Met, who are the beneficiaries here at the breakdown. Penalty to the Archers.
Yeah, definitely. I think having Steph Crimp come on now in the early stage of the second half will hopefully steer the ship of Cardiff Met to victory. But yeah, great person, like we said earlier, to have in the team, and fingers crossed now we can hopefully take Cardiff Met to a victory.
Now, his pre-match superstition, I hear, is to go left first with everything on match day. So left boot on, left first, presumably left foot into his shorts first, and then his right, and he's gone left with this kick for touch as well. So hopefully that proves to be lucky for Cardiff Met, who do win the line out and quickly peel off the side of the ruck through Ollie Smith. And they're deep into that corner, just keeping the ball in field. Terry in to Hart.
Yeah, running in ones at the moment. They want to try and get a bit of support around the ball carrier. You see Durham going double shots, trying to slow their ball down. You want to get the boys on the outside and inside of the ball carrier, just try and take the tacklers out of the way and try and get a bit of quick ball here from Cardiff Met.
Trying to shift the point of attack a little bit to find those holes, and Chris Johnson so nearly through, and they are still going here. Owen short of the line. Rhodes coming straight through, smashing into Terry. Can't do that these days, and it is a penalty to Met, and a little bit of afters.
Yeah, silly play that from the number 8. You think with all of his experience, he knows that he shouldn't go anywhere near the 9 there. And given Cardiff Met a bit more of an advantage now, just depends on what they're thinking, whether to go to the corner, which I think they're going to do. He's kicking himself a little bit there, I think, the number 8.
Yeah, very, very strange penalty for a man of such experience to give away. Needless, Durham had managed to get over and shut down that threat on the right-hand side, but the long and short of it is that Met will have another line out. This one 5 metres out. Cannon managing to reach high into the night sky and fling that one back.
Got to get support there.
Ollie Smith again going as a one-up runner. Steph Crimp darts back to the right-hand side. There was nothing on the left hand. McCann's Carrington finds Cohen. What can he do from short range?
Oh, what a finish that is.
That is an excellent try from Cardiff Met. It gets the Ultras screaming here at Rugby 1. The Archers right back into this game. A second try, 7.5 minutes into this second half. And of course, it was Cohen.
Yeah, a great finish in fairness to the winger to get in the corner there, but you know, we just said about it being a nerve settler for Durham, and then they just put the pressure all back on themselves and taking it to what could be a 2-point margin now.
Big first kick of the match this for Steph Crimp, but first of all we will have a little look back at this try. Josh Carrington skipping out of a tackle, not for the first time. And then Cohen, I mean, he's had no space there on that touchline.
No, he's done really well in fairness to him. Yeah, a tricky kick there for Steph, but unfortunately not to get that.
Had all the length, had all the height, but just not quite the line. So it will remain Cardiff Met 10, Durham 14. 2 tries apiece for either side, but it is the success of Verdum off the tee that gives Durham their 4-point lead. And they will kick towards this near touchline. To restart the game, Durham ends up in the hands of Hipperson.
It's got to go wide, yeah, if they want to play.
They go route one through stop. And they're rotating that option of having Platt and Vernon as the first receivers. It was Platt that was involved on that occasion. Just held up here. Can they keep this ball up, Cardiff Met, and get the turnover? And they do. Really good defence from them. And that turnover, along with the try just moments ago, feels like a positive momentum swing for Cardiff Met. They will have a scrum, centre field outside their 22, with options either side.
As the head of the Ultras there, Jacob Burns, looking as beautiful as ever. Probably shouting at a couple of boys to sing a bit louder as well, I'd imagine.
I mean, there have been points in this game where they've been unbelievably loud, but as you were saying, that kind of strange period in the middle of the first half where it went very, very quiet here.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, they feed off emotion, and they feed off a lot of impactful things that happen in the game. You know, look like the likes of Josh Carrington making a mini line break. They start to fire up, and you know, you can see that it was a bit sketchy within 10-15 minutes of that first half, and you can see that through the Ultras as well.
Crimp, Johnson and Statten to the left, Carrington to the right. It doesn't matter who is where for Cardiff Met right now, because Durham's pack have just absolutely driven through the 8 of the Archers, and they will get the penalty directly in front of the post, and they will again turn down the opportunity to kick for goal. It seemed at first, but no, they will take the chance to extend their lead to 7 here.
Yeah, but what a statement that is as well. You know, they win the ball back off the kickoff, losing in a held up in a maul, and then get that ball straight back in the scrum as well. You know, that's a massive confidence boost for the Durham pack there. And like we spoke about earlier, they kind of thought that now this is the right time to cash the chips, get the ball back off the kickoff, and reassess from there.
Well, Verdum has had much trickier kicks in this match. He was never really going to have an issue with that one from directly in front. Met 10, Durham 17 now, as Julius Turley, second year from Grey College, comes on for Durham, with Hipperson making way. Durham securing that one on the 22 and sending it over to Aiton. A sliced kick though from Charles as he attempted to clear his lines, and may just they've taken the quick line out, and they are going through Will Owen. On now to Josh Carrington. Josh Carrington with the break again. Here we go, over to Cohen. Is it a second try for Cohen? No. In touch. That had a Met classic written all over it, Joe.
He's an absolute cheat code, isn't he, Josh Carrington? Just how quickly he can change direction and just go, put it on the back burners and give it to Kerwin, who so unfortunately got hit in the touch there. It's pretty much exactly a blueprint of what a try was like about 5 minutes ago as well. But you see here on the replay the feet that he's got, and it's just the ability to get out of the marks and just draw in that last defender and give that 2-on-1. But well, here we go.
They've won the line out against the head as well. So, opportunity still for Cardiff Met. The pick and go. Will Owen at the base of this one, who started that move, just lost forwards though as it goes into the hands of Josh Hart. It is going to be a scrum to Durham. But unexpected moment, giving momentum, giving field position to Cardiff Met, and so nearly giving them the opportunity to go over the line. Durham just did not see that quick throw coming, and I think they were still rattled as they overthrew on the line out.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one that. I think Durham line out 5 metres out. You just try and play as safe as you can, I think, and you don't want to be hitting double top, so you just want to be hitting right in face line, just secure the ball and get it off.
And I think Durham can count themselves very, very lucky that they did not concede there. And that had, as you say, all the hallmarks of being a carbon copy of Kerwin's first try that we've just seen once again.
Yeah, you've got to imagine Durham are going to look to try and get a penalty here, clear their line safely, get the ball back as well if they get a penalty. So, but seems like a solid scrum so far from Cardiff Met.
Met holding much firmer than they did before. So Rhodes has to pick and go. And Durham will try and set themselves on a platform to exit here. Charles steadies himself for the box kick and puts this one off the park. Only just outside his 22. Met will be pleased with the return from that one.
Yeah, it gives Cardiff Met good field position now to try and hopefully get a bit of a starter off this line out. But panic for Durham as their number 8's down and taking a knee here. Hopefully nothing serious for him either.
You'd say there's one player that Durham will not want to be losing. When the momentum is with Met, the wind is in the Archers' sails, is their captain and their ever-present Marcus Rhodes. And I just had a glimpse there of Simon Cully, the Durham coach, in his 5th year as head of rugby at the university. He's assisted by Theo Smurden and Ben Woods, 2 men that he actually played university rugby with for Durham back in the early noughties. So they know one another inside out as players and as coaches. No doubt key to the success they've had with this side. As success off that line out goes missing for Cardiff Met. Not thrown straight, so it will be a scrum for Durham.
Yeah, you can imagine Cardiff Met here wanting to try and get the same sort of picture they had in the last scrum. You know, don't want to be giving any inches away for Durham to try and exploit. But yeah, a bit of a coach killer for Cardiff Met there. You know, they wanted the ball back. They worked hard to get the ball back, and yeah, hopefully now they can have a good scrum here.
Well, I was just about to ask you what we thought Durham might do off this scrum in terms of attacking intent. They are not going to get the opportunity to show us. It is a free kick to Cardiff Met. And they are going to run from depth onto Will Owen up to the 22. Terry. Durham need to roll away. They do. Murphy. Just busting through that tackle from Ayton. Owen onto Crimp and finds Carrington on the gap. Just held. The amazing tackle from Ethan Knight coming in there. Otherwise, Carrington was clear for the line. Clear for Met's 3rd try that they will still search for here as Murphy puts in a lovely little sidestep. Slow ball for Met. Smith. Cannon. There are options to this left-hand side if they go, but Will Owen is absolutely thumped there by Stott.
Yeah, you've got to wonder how many more phases Cardiff Met are going to do here before they decide to stick the ball up in the air. But you know, they're doing really well at the moment, playing through the phases. You got Steph Crimp in the back, but
hands on it from Durham. This could still work out.
Oh, what feat.
It is going to work out for Cardiff Met. What a try for Jack Statten. The charge down kick from Steph Crimp, but Statten absolutely alive to the bouncing ball, and he had so much work to do even when it ended up in his hands. But a powerful run ends Statten over the line, and Met 100% back in this game.
Yeah, definitely. You see have that never say die attitude. Like, all right, the kick didn't come off the way everyone had planned it to, but fair play to Jack Statten, straight on the ball, picking up the scraps and earning the points for Cardiff Met there.
So we see it one more time. There's the bouncing ball. There's the pick
great
up.
feet as well.
Oh, what a lovely carving run. And it is Crimp now with the opportunity to tie things up in this one, with 3/4 of the match in the bank. He's just scuffed that one wide. It did look for a moment like it might curve back in, but it remains Met 15, Durham 17. And after that try, a change was made at hooker. George Merritt is off. Lewis Welsh makes his return from a broken hand. He'll be really pleased to get himself back on the pitch after a tough injury layoff.
Yeah, definitely. It's annoying as well, especially around like in the limb area, especially the hand. You know, you feel brilliant in yourself. You can run, you can do a load of all the gym, and yeah, you just can't play. So I bet he's absolutely buzzing to be back out on Rugby 1 for the last one of the year.
Terry drops that one backwards, and as ever, Josh Carrington makes the best of a bad situation, getting outside Met's 22. And they do look to play it for a little bit, but I think probably just try and slow things down here and settle with the clearing kick. Terry pulling it back with his boots and just gets that one up and over. It lands right in front of us here in the commentary box. Line out just short of halfway for Durham, who'd find themselves defending a 2-point lead.
Yeah, it's a good outcome there for Cardiff Met. Great kick by Alex Terry there, getting it up towards the halfway line. But just go back to saying what Steph Crimp brings to the side. You see that there, almost putting Josh Carrington through on a short ball, and just being the general, just organising them boys. You know, making the boys not even have to think for themselves. You know, it's a brilliant person to have in the team.
That line out goes awry, knocked forwards and then cleared up by Murphy. So advantage Met and possession with the Archers. Chip over the top from Crimp. Doesn't work out quite as well as the last one, but he knew it was a free play. Now, I don't know if Simon Cully, Durham's head of rugby, will be keeping one eye on scores around the league to make sure that his team are abreast of the situation. But one man who certainly is abreast of the situation is Elliot Phipps, who has just been able to tell us that Exeter have gone from drawing 12-12 at half-time to be 33-17 up in their match against Cardiff. 33-17 means they've already secured the try bonus point. So a Durham loss here will flip that 4th-5th standing in the league. And Durham, having travelled all the way down to Cardiff this Wednesday, having to travel back up tonight, will then have to make the journey down to Exeter in 2 weeks' time. That is if Met can get the result here. Just a 2-point lead for Durham at the moment, and it's Met in possession. It's Toby Locke with the break. Carrington in support. He can't quite find him, but he is up to the 22. Durham scampering back in defence. Plenty of time to catch them offside here. Cardiff Met just about cling onto that ball. No, they don't. Unfortunate.
Forced offload. Right up, well, it's a good option, but just the accuracy wasn't there. And a let off for Durham there, in fact.
Yeah, Durham very, very relieved to get away with that one. Not for the first time we see a Cardiff Met break that is incredibly threatening. And the runners that they have in this back line can score from nearly anywhere given the chance. And I can tell you that latest break has really animated Gareth Baber on the sideline here at Rugby 1. A completely different mood to this time last week. As that ball just won at the line out by Cardiff Met, and then a high challenge coming in on Maxime van Hilst, who makes his BUCS Super Rugby debut. One of 3 Dutchmen in this side in this club at the moment for Cardiff Met. He's also been involved with the Netherlands under-20s, and we'll be hoping to use that international experience to provide a super sub impact tonight. Speaking of super subs, it is Josh Hart who takes the ball forwards for Met, and Van Hilst now with the clearance. Big boot on that one. And Vernham all the way back onto his 22 and off to Platt, who puts this one down the throat of Crimp. He then kicks himself, but he sliced that one. It is going to stay in field. And the counter coming in now from Muhammad. And 50-22.
Just inside, I'm pretty sure.
Just inside the Met half, so it will be a Met throw at the line out. But they've got to be aware of that. I mean, that was very, very close to setting up a perfect attacking platform for Durham. It was surprising there was no one back there for Met.
Yeah, it is, and I think they'll be quite relieved with the outcome there, and glad that they're attacking it rather than defending this Durham line out. But just going back to Maxime Van Hilst, it's great to see him make his debut for Cardiff Met. One of 3 Dutch boys, like you mentioned. Vigas being away with the Netherlands senior side at the moment, playing against Belgium on the weekend. So massive good luck to him, and obviously Mikey as well. Just had shoulder surgery, so speedy recovery to Mikey as well.
Hilst doesn't quite get everything he wanted on that one, so Durham, a few metres short of the 22, will have the opportunity. Archie Clark, who has previously represented Scotland under 20s, took that one up, and then the kick charge down, options to the right. Cannon, the man with ball in hand, perhaps not the distributor that Met needed at that moment in time, but hits the line powerfully, and still Met continue in possession. Kerwin not able to do anything there. In fact, it's turned over by Durham. Slow ball here though, no one there at 9. It's going to be Clark who's going to have to run in and try and do some of the work himself.
Yeah, great pressure there from Cardiff Met. You see Max, he looks quite small, but he throws his weight about, and pound for pound he's a very, very tough bloke. And you see a 9 counter ruck, and it makes you as a forward want to get in there and get involved as well. So yeah, great pressure there, and turn over to Cardiff Met.
And if there's anywhere that you want to force a Durham player off over the sideline, it is right in front of those ultras. That was a very popular intervention by Cardiff Met, and we're just waiting here because Boris Ames is down on the far side for Durham, who make a couple of changes. Lockie Lawson and Callum Highland-Dugbo coming on. Callum Highland-Dugbo making his debut, ex-Leeds Academy player. Ben Murphy, meanwhile, making way for Cardiff Met, his final appearance here in BUCS Super Rugby at Cyncoed Campus for Cardiff Met comes to an end. And just a word, as we'll see the break here first of all. Cannon getting the ball and finding he has lots of space to run into. Stopped in the end by Louis Platt. But yeah, just a word on Ben Murphy, the captain, and the impact that he's made on this Cardiff Met club.
Yeah, he's been brilliant, in fairness to him. I remember when he first came in, I was in my second or third year, and you know, he's one of my real good mates now, and yeah, he's just grown as a person, as a player in the past 3 years he's been at Cardiff Met, and you know, to be able to get the opportunity to captain the side this year, you know, he's really fallen into that leadership role well, and yeah, you'll definitely be missed next year in Cardiff Met, but whatever route he takes next year, I wish him all the best.
All of us here at Cardiff Met do indeed. What a player Ben Murphy has been for this side, and what a captain this season as well.
Yeah, there's chat there thinking that it's come off a Durham hand there, but again, you wouldn't if you're a Durham pack, especially the Durham hooker. I don't think he wants to be throwing a ball in by there in front of a bunch of Royal Debauchers.
That assistant referee is not the most popular man at Cyncoed right now, that is for sure. Durham line out.
I don't think any of the ultras have any voices tomorrow.
Quickly off the back of this maul, through the hands of the backs. Vernon. Yeah, penalty, Cardiff Met.
Yeah, Jack starting again. Brilliant from him. Definitely made up for that missed tackle he had on in the early start of the second half. Yeah, outstanding from the outside centre there.
Yeah, a try since then, and now a penalty turnover. Crimp puts this up towards Durham's 22. So Met will start this attack on the opposite side of the field to their vocal Ultras support, who absolutely loved that penalty.
Yeah, still getting a bit of chat from Gareth Baber and Alan Williams down on the touchline now, so not all quiet.
Not all quiet indeed, but not all straight at the line out either. And so Durham will have the scrum here.
Yeah, first scrum for Max Surrey as well. Definitely want to be making an impact. Lewis Walsh as well, first scrum for him. So yeah, be good to see them both do well in the scrum. Yeah.
I can tell you that Cardiff Met are the only Welsh side remotely in the competition, in the running tonight. Not only, as we heard earlier, Swansea 45 points to nil behind against Loughborough, but Cardiff University are now 47-17 down to Exeter. So the team from the southwest of England doing absolutely everything to make a last-ditch attempt for a top 4 position and a home quarter-final. Durham just about doing enough here. Penalty to them. They will put this deep down into Met's territory and look to extend their 2-point lead off the line out that ensues. No rush to take this kick. Slightly sliced, but it is still going to go into touch as we see this scrum penalty.
Yeah, just Max Surrey not really painting a good picture there. Elbow going down, touching the floor first, so easy decision for the linesman to make that. Just needs to start painting a bit better pictures, keep the elbow high, and yeah, hopefully next time he'll make amends to it.
Quick ball here for Durham. Rhodes showing no sign of the knock that put him down a few moments ago. It's on to Mutamed. Back to this right-hand side. Loose ball, but well picked up by Platt. And the chip over the top. That one's going to go just a little bit too long.
Yeah, you can see it's going into the last sort of 10 minutes or so now of this game, and you just feel that Durham are just starting to force things a little bit. You know, they realise that there's only sort of 10-12 minutes left, and yeah, you just got to just be patient, don't do anything silly, keep the ball, and hopefully you play off.
The 2-point margin, any decision that you offer the referee could decide this game. Steph Crimp trying to draw Durham into thinking that he's gone for a quick drop kick from this 22-metre restart. That one straight down the throat of Rhodes, who's chopped. Lovely stuff from Lewis Walsh on his return. Replacement scrum half, Highland Dugbo.
Yeah, a couple of changes for Cardiff Met as well. Ollie Wiseman on and Liam Newstead.
Big boot from Steph Crimp nearly divides the two sweepers. That's a good return, and that's a 50-22 for Durham off the boot of Jack Verdham. He has not missed a game this season. He has only missed, he's not missed a kick this match either, and executes perfectly on that 50-22.
Yeah, you can imagine Durham going towards the front of this line-out here. They haven't had best success with their line-out in this game, so I think their main priority, get the ball back and hopefully have a couple of phases.
I'm feeling that kick could prove to be a critical moment in the closing stages of this match, especially with the way Durham's maul is starting to motor here.
You've got to be patient here, not give any penalties away, not get any turnovers. There's still a lot of time left in this game to get 2 more tries. It's got to be patient.
They've had real success peeling off the side. In the end, they go to the backs. Ethan Knight trying to cut back inside to find the gap, but the Met defence holding firm. Powerful drive there. Graham still going and just rolling towards the line. We saw what happened with Rhodes' try.
It's held up, I think.
Surely.
Yeah.
And it is. The decision does eventually come in.
Yeah, you can start to see the frustrations on a couple of the Durham players.
On will come Ben Morgan from the sideline, and we're having a look to see who is heading off for him. It's going to be Toby Locke. So you see this latest attack from Durham once again in the shadow of the sticks. Every reason to believe they could score here. He's just turned himself over as he's gone for the line there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think we talk about they want to be patient and sort of keep the ball, but unfortunate for them, the ball sort of spurted out the back of the ruck, so he had no choice but to pick it up. But frustrating for Durham, but I think they have enough confidence now to try and get some more points on the board here.
Platt does well under the 20 and under the goal line clearance from Crimp. And they decide to work the short side to Durham.
Good defence here from Cardiff Met. They just need to be careful not to give any penalties away.
We've seen this all night long from Durham, the quick hands, but a little bit too quick on that occasion for Lucas Rowell and Ethan Knight. Just about managing to clear things up. But again, Met come piling in with the tackles. Again, it's Josh Hart, who's been so physical since he's come on in the first half.
Yeah, he throws himself about, in fairness to Josh.
Vernon with the torpedo bomb. Where will it bounce? Where will it go? No one knows.
Here we go, what can Jack do here?
Not for the first time, he had broken field in front of him. Yes. There is a Durham player down. Met will continue. In fact, they'll work their way back to that injured player, which just disrupts this move slightly. Hands could still keep it moving forward. Lewis Welsh tries to cut back inside. Big hit on him there. Welcome back to BUCS Super Rugby for Lewis Welsh. Crimp on, and that one's just spilt forward by Will Owen. Broken field here. This could be the winning score. Just clambering back, go Met. And it is the replacement Ben Morgan who's crucially involved there and will need to be crucially involved again.
That's a great tackle.
What a covering tackle on Rao.
Great tackle from Ben Morgan there. Last ditch tackle, needed to make it. Fair play to him.
He has single-handedly saved Met twice there, and I have absolutely no idea how he managed to get from the first tackle to the second one. That's incredible stuff from Ben Morgan. We were chatting to Tom Cowell earlier today, and he described Morgan as such a hard worker, a really unassuming, diligent young man who just gets the job done, and we certainly saw that there. There's the first of those tackles, and he got back to his feet and made up about 30 metres to put in the tackle on Rao and force him over the touchline to give Met this defensive line-out throw. With Lewis Welsh, the man who will throw the dart in to the line-out. It's Will Owen who is currently receiving a little bit of treatment from the physio. It looks like he is going to be okay to continue for now. Just a reminder that we don't have the referee's clock on our scoreboard, so there will be a little bit longer in this game than what is shown on the screen right now. But it does mean, Joe, that we are getting close to man of the match time. So just a couple of minutes warning for you to have a little bit of a think, and certainly a tougher one today because the two teams are so evenly matched. I think that
player of the match could come from either side, and it could be an opportunity for Carrington to stake his claim here. He has broken, he's got Kerwin with him. Still goes himself, and spilt forward. Really, he needed to give that ball earlier. It'd been such a good break.
Yeah, even if you just kept on, hold on to that, I think, you know, it's you make what 65 metres up the field, gives, you know, Durham a scrambling, it gives Met the front foot ball. But I think, you know, this is do or die now for Cardiff Met. They need to get this ball back from the scrum. You know, I don't think Durham are going to be giving the ball away. I think they need to keep it.
Here we see the bravery to play wide on your own goal line. Carrington pinning his ears back, hearing the shouts coming from inside and outside. Caught in two minds as to which way to go, and ultimately the ball lost forwards. Durham need a big scrum here. Time has expired on the clock on our stream. Time has expired on the stadium clock. The only place it has not run out is on the referee's watch. We are in his arms now as to how much longer is left in this one, and whether there is enough time for Met to regain possession and have one more opportunity to bear down on Durham's line and overcome this 2-point deficit.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, never mind. They kicked it. Just about to say, I can't imagine Durham wanting to kick the ball away. You know, so close to it being full time. They want to try and get that fourth try and a bonus point, but gives Cardiff Met another opportunity to get an opportunity to try and get some points. As we have the
Penalty advantage for Cardiff Met. Penalty given straight away in the end, and that will just give us a brief pause, Joe, to have a little bit more of a think about player of the match. Nearly there, not quite. Perhaps we may have to wait until we have a winner in this game to decide who that player of the match is. Loughborough's full-time score has been confirmed, 52 points to 7, and they are your 2024-2025 BUCS League winners. Of course, the knockout still to come, but they do take the league crown. That line-out lost by Cardiff Met. Durham again just clinging on to this 2-point lead, just clinging on to fourth in the table. Once again kicking the ball away and out on the full. So we're going to go back to basically where we just were after the last Met penalty. Crazy decision.
I don't understand what that was there, to be honest. Weird decision. You know, I think unless there's a lot of time left on the referee's watch, I can't imagine that was the decision that went through his head. But you know, if you're Durham coaching staff and you just want to try and keep the ball, try and get that fourth try. But
Van Hilst does well. Another poor line out from Cardiff Met, but ultimately they do have hands on the ball. They are in Durham's half. They just have to get within penalty range and hope that Durham get a little bit too nervous knowing what is at stake.
It's got to stay in.
Welsh.
No penalties here. You've got to just try and keep the ball, hold for a penalty. Try and get a penalty here.
On to Newstead.
Yeah, penalty. Oh, I wonder what the decision's here.
Okay, you know Steph Crimp better than me. Does he have the range? I don't think it doesn't look like he's going to go for it. They are going to go for the corner.
Oh, he is going to go for points. Oh,
they are. God. This is it. This is it in this game. The final round of the BUCS Men's Super Rugby regular season. Steph Crimp, in his final appearance at Cyncoed Campus, has the opportunity from almost halfway to win this game against Durham. 2 points down. A famous win for Cardiff Met is what is at stake here for Steph Crimp.
Yeah,
Joe.
What a fairy tale ending it'll be for a few of the boys, especially Steph. But I wonder what Durham are going to do here. Whether the ball doesn't go dead, whether they're going to just try and keep playing, or whether they're going to kick the ball out. But over to you, Steph.
You said that the ground went quiet in the first half. You could hear a pin drop. It's scuffed. It's still in play.
And they've kicked it
They've
off.
kicked it out. That will be that. Steph Crimp collapses down to the ground. Not the ending he wanted. Not the ending that Cardiff Met wanted. His teammates though right around him to support him. So good to see. A gutting loss for Cardiff Met, Joe. A really tough one to take, but at the same time, so much to be proud of here in this one. They have gone up against the 4th best team in BUCS Super Rugby season. Durham do get the win, but only by that margin of 2. A huge turnaround from last week, Joe.
Yeah, definitely, and there's a lot of positives to take from that game. You know, losing the past 2 weeks by 50, 60 points, and then bringing, you know, a top 4 team literally within to the last play. You know, absolutely gutted for Steph, but he's an absolute quality player, brilliant person, class act. You know, and I'm sure you'll bounce back. And you know, and the best thing about this is that they had the quarter-final guaranteed, and you know, I think they can take a lot of positives from this game and take it into the quarter-final and hopefully get a win over Bath in 2 weeks' time.
So I know that obviously the emotion is with Met at the moment. You've been here, you've had that final game on Cyncoed, but a word on Durham, and also I'm going to push you for that player of the match from the Durham ranks, I would imagine, given the result.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, they had a job to do to come down here, and they've done it. You know, and they were top 4 side for a reason. You know, I think taking it to the absolute wire, but you know, special shout outs to Henry Kerwin and Josh Carrington for Cardiff Met. He's been absolutely brilliant, and Steph Crimp as well. He was brilliant in that game. But for me, the man of the match is the captain of Durham, Marcus Rhodes. I think he's the absolute heartbeat of Durham. All game he was carrying, got them on the front foot, and I think, you know, they looked to him to be the leader, and I think he's definitely done that tonight. And fair play to him, man of the match performance for Marcus Rhodes.
A well-deserved Man of the Match award for captain and number 8 Marcus Rhodes, as we see some of the highlights of the second half. This break from Josh Carrington, one that so nearly saw him bear down on the line.
Yeah, like I said earlier, he's an absolute class act of a person, and you know, a player, and he's a brilliant person as well. And you know, he uses so much class, his ability to be able to break that first line of defender, beat the first man, get Cardiff Met in the places that they want to be, and you know, he'll definitely be missed next year. And whatever route he goes to or wherever he goes next year, you know, he's a brilliant player, and will add an unbelievable amount of talent to their squad.
So many in this Cardiff Met side with such bright futures ahead of them, and many that we hope will follow in your footsteps, Joe, and secure themselves a professional contract as their university days come to an end. It would have been the fairy tale finish there. Steph Crimp had the opportunity. It was an incredibly tough kick, and then you add in the situation, you add in the pressure. You know, obviously not the kick he would have wanted to put in, not the final act he would have wanted to write in his Cardiff Met career, but still, that performance today just feels like a far better send-off for the boys who are finishing up their Met careers this season than if they'd had to finish with a performance like they put in last week. Also, it sets them up so much better for that quarter-final against Bath.
Yeah, it does, and I think, you know, everyone will remember the last kick of the game from Steph, but you know, you look back at the first half, they had 2 opportunities to take the 3 points, and they didn't take them. So, you know, as much as it was a kick that would have sealed the win, and it would have been a brilliant ending, you know, you can't say it's up to Steph. And from the area that he is in the field, should they have had more field position, should they have had more opportunity, should they have taken those 3, you know, it's if buts and maybes, but at the end of the day, that's how it is. And you know, there's another game for them to play in the quarter-final against Bath in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks' time against our varsity rivals Bath for an opportunity to get to the BUCS semi-finals.
position that Cardiff Met have not, or an achievement Cardiff Met has eluded Cardiff Met in recent years, I should say, and one that they will be giving their absolute all for. Final appearances on Rugby 1 for many of the side today, not their final appearance in BUCS Super Rugby. They will hope that comes all the way in April in Rodney Parade. But for now, it does remain just for me to say thank you very much, Joe, for joining us tonight up here on commentary. It's been a pleasure to have your insight and expertise. Wish you all the best for the rest of the season with Cardiff. And it is time now to throw down to Niamh Davis on the sideline.
Yeah, thank you, Will. Honestly, it was such a close match, so someone that could tell us all about it is assistant coach Chris. Chris, how was that?
Yeah, I think, look, I did. Obviously, there was plenty of enough chances to win that game quite comfortably, so that's a bit upsetting. But where we've been in recent weeks to a performance level, that's night and day, and I think the boys really expressed themselves. It was important to put a performance on here tonight. Great home crowd. Number of boys leaving, so they wanted to do the club proud, and I think they did. And
they definitely made the club proud. Tell me a bit more about what it means having these boys like playing for the last time at Cyncoed. Emotions are going to be definitely high, but do you think they'll keep in high spirits considering the fight they put on then?
Yeah, like this isn't the end of the road for this season. We've got a quarter final now to look for, and the message all week was to put a good performance in and try and find ways that we can build on for where we want to go in the quarter final with that game in mind. And I think we're pleased as a group of coaches. Obviously gutted we didn't win it. We felt there was enough there to win it tonight.
Yeah. So the kick at the end, that was a decision. Do you think it was the right one regardless of the outcome?
Yeah, boys, you back the boys on the field to make the correct decision. You know, the debate of whether we should have gone to the line then or not is, well, we'll never know. But, you know, they backed themselves, went for the post, we've given them the support.
Yeah, so what are they going to do now ahead of the quarter-final against Bath?
Well, we've got a fallow week now to do a bit more prep, rest up some damaged bodies, because the boys have been, you know, balancing between this squad and the Premiership in recent weeks. So we'll prepare now accordingly. We'll reset and we'll go again.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thanks a lot.
And celebrate in a way that you can. You should be proud of yourself. There you go. Well, I'm joined now back with Joe, who's going to give us a bit more of an insight into the match. Joe, emotional one.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird one, isn't it? I think you know, it's to lose any game's tough, but to lose by 2 points within a 3-point score is, you know, it's absolute heartbreak, especially at the death as well. But there's a lot of good things to come from this game. You know, losing the past 2 weeks by 50-60 points and then bringing it in with a top 4 team within 2. I think, you know, there's a lot of positives to take from that into Bath in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think the boys who put on that jersey for the last time, do you think they'll be proud of their performance, because they did put on a hell of a fight, you must say? Yeah,
I mean, you know, they all worked hard. Everyone wants to work hard. Everyone wants to be part of this group, and I think, as much as it's the last time they pull a jersey on on Rugby 1, they have another opportunity in 2 weeks, and, you know, knockout rugby is anyone's game. So there's a lot of things to take from it. There's a lot of work-ons, but, you know, I think all eyes will be on Bath now in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, definitely. There was a massive change in their play. Did you notice a difference? What do you think they changed? I just think they just tried to tighten up a little bit. You know, I think defensively I thought they were really good. They made decisions to go in and contest in the ruck when they wanted to, but also at the times they weren't putting too many men in there either. Keep men on feet, bring line speed, cut Durham off with their attack. You know, will they kick themselves for not taking the 3 points in the first half? I don't know, but yeah, I think there's a lot of positives to take from that game. Like I've said, absolute goosebumps at the end. Do you think the kick was the right decision? You have to, don't you? It's do or die at the end of the day. You know, it's last play. If you kick it out to the corner, you might not get the ball back. So I think if you have an opportunity to take it, you have to take it, don't you? Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much. Great on commentary today. Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you very much. There you go. So now we're going to hear from Durham player. Hello. Hiya, Oscar. How are you? Good. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
So it was a very close match. Were nerves high, like throughout the entire match?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the boys were really up for this one. You know, at the end, you know, see the score, it was really tight at the end. But yeah, we got the win at the end, which is always a good thing. So yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now, Met actually were in the lead in the first half, but they must have put some power behind you, because you definitely fought back. Did it make you nervous? Yeah, I mean, like, you know, they're a tough side. In the time I've been at Durham for 4 years, I've never come here and win. So yeah, like, we knew it was going to be a tough challenge, and they're a big physical side. So yeah, second half coming out, we brought a bit of energy, and yeah, got the win in the end. Yeah.
So how are you looking forward now to the knockout round?
I think that puts us fourth, so the home quarter-final, probably against Exeter. So yeah, we're looking forward to prepping really well and racing into that week.
Well, good luck and congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
There you go. So it wasn't exactly a success for Met tonight, but we'll still celebrate another success. So we're going to look at the Cardiff Met ladies basketball team, who actually won last week against Durham. So here are the highlights.
O'Shower, top of the key, goes inside. Juncker, pump fake, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Spins out to Jorgensen. First shot up and it's good. An opening three for Cardiff Met. They take the lead. Lots of noise here in the arena. O'Shower to Juncker, open shot. And she nails it. Great shot from Abigail Juncker. Her first points of the afternoon.
Yeah, huge shot right there by Abigail.
Looking for a teammate to Shanahan. Stewart making herself available. Stewart down low in the post. Out to Bailey, who's got an open look, and she will let fly, and that's another three for Cardiff Met. The bench are on their feet. Back to Lucas, who takes the shot. And she's off, but a brilliant rebound there from Brolt. Creates a second chance opportunity, and Durham will get another rebound. It was Wood in there with some good work. Fernandez Pardo under the rim, and she finishes off that opportunity. And they have a 5-on-4 here, Cardiff Met.
Really want to attack that.
Yeah, Brolt just coming back in now, and she intercepts the ball. Lucas, one-on-one against Juncker again, and we've seen that matchup so many times in that first quarter, and Lucas comes up on top that time. And Shanahan looking for Clark, well tipped by Lucas. Jorgensen, 3 seconds to shoot. O'Shower with a beautiful finish off the glass.
That's a great finish right there by O'Shower.
Juncker to Stewart. Stewart under the rim, goes up, she's off. And Durham will turn it over with the chance to tie or take the lead if they can find a three. And Juncker just runs Marina Fernandez-Bardo out, who's not happy with that call. And Connie Clark will have the opportunity to surely put this game beyond reach. She does.
Clutch free throws right there.
8 seconds to go. That is surely going to give Cardiff Met their 5th win of the season as the final buzzer goes. And a huge roar goes up inside the Archers Arena. The Cardiff Met Archers take a 68-64 win over the Durham Palatinates.
There you go, excellent win from the Archers women's basketball team. Now, it wasn't a success for Met tonight, but Elliot is still going to update us on all of the BUCS fixtures that have gone home. So give us a full-time roundup then, Al.
So, top story, Neve. Loughborough 52, Swansea 7. So that confirms Loughborough winning the BUCS Super Rugby regular season. Swansea now are confirmed 10th place now. They are confirmed relegation playoff for them. Then in second place now Hartpury. They were behind 7-5 to Leeds Beckett, but they did come back to win 45-7. So Hartpury, they're confirmed second place. Bath then, the team that Cardiff Met will have to face in the quarterfinals are varsity rivals. They beat Nottingham 38-24. And of course then we saw now a Cyncoed Durham confirming 4th place with a very tight 17-15 win. So they will host Exeter in the quarterfinals, who despite the half-time square being L12 all at home to Cardiff University, they did manage to bring it back and end up winning 49-19. So very big night in BUCS Super Rugby, entertaining night, highs and lows as we expected.
Yeah, definitely some highs and lows, but you've been great, Elliot, so thank you so much. Thank you to everyone else involved. Thank you to Joe and Sheps up in comms. Now, it's a big fixture on Saturday, Super Saturday, so we went round campus and asked everyone what team has the best national anthem. No star.
Ahead of Super Saturday, we're going around campus asking people what their favourite national anthem of the Six Nations is.
Oh, France.
Yeah?
I'm going with Wales. Wales all the way. Wales all the way.
No brainer, Wales, isn't it?
England.
Wales. Scotland.
Wales, obviously.
So, what do you think? A poll will be over on Met Sport TV Instagram, so you can have your say.
Happy to go?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Joe Towns and I'm the Programme Director of the Sport Broadcast Master's degree. The Sport Broadcast MSc is all about live production skills, sports broadcast journalism and content creation, whether that's for social media, for podcasts, long-form documentaries or short-form TikTok. On the Sport Broadcast Master's degree, we try and cover every possible role that you could find in the contemporary sports media industry. We want our students to be prepared for all of them, whether that's behind the camera, directing, producing, editing, operating replays, directing a live stream, or if it's on screen, reporting, presenting, commentating. We've designed this course as the perfect stepping stone into the sport broadcast media industry. In terms of broadcast facilities, we have a fully equipped Adobe Lab, which is our newsroom, a TV news gallery, a radio room, brand new podcast studio, and out on the sports fields we have gantries and galleries so that we can live stream football and rugby every week. This course is a practical course, it's hands-on, it's vocational. We really pride ourselves that we're trying to create students that are multi-skilled and ready to take their career in any direction when they leave us. The big advantage of running this course on this campus here at Cardiff Met is that there is elite sport every week, whether that's Wednesday as part of the BUCS competition or so many of our teams play in National League sporting competitions on the weekend. On a Wednesday afternoon, our students could be directing a live stream of BUCS Super Rugby. They might be filming highlights for a live football match, presenting a radio show, making a podcast, or doing a live TV Up the Archer sports preview show. As well as weekly BUCS fixtures, we also cover some really big events on campus, whether that's our varsity day against Bath University.
It's Cardiff Clash. Cardiff Met versus Cardiff University.
Clash on the Court, a triple header in the Archers Arena where we show netball, women's basketball, men's basketball, or the Cardiff Met Sports Awards, a massive event in a hotel in the city where we do all of the VTs and production for what is a brilliant way to round off the year. Across the city and across Wales, we have some very well established relationships with the industry, so our students have opportunities the whole year long to go out on placements. If you're a Welsh speaker,
Shwmae a chroeso I bennod arall Work the Archer.
Then we allow all students to submit any of their coursework in the medium of Welsh. We also have some fantastic opportunities in the Welsh sports broadcast industry. The sport broadcast industry is a fast-changing, ever-evolving space. We're really proud that so many of our graduates go on to work in the industry. There's all sorts of possible opportunities for the students to explore once they finish the Sport Broadcast Master's degree.